Welcome inside Cassell Coliseum here on 3304 Sports. I'm Tyler Katz, joined alongside Andy Loce for Senior Day here at Virginia Tech. Andy, these two teams come into today's game having struggled in their last matchup. For Virginia Tech, losing 69-53 against the Yellow Jackets. For Wake Forest, their lowest scored game in the shot clock era for the Demon Deacons, only scoring 39 points in a 60-39 loss to the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, both of these teams are really struggling lately, Tyler, offensively, because quite honestly, Wake Forest has been struggling over the last few weeks, and for Virginia Tech, they just returned to the hardwood court. Let's dive into the Demon Deacons real quick. Their 39 points kind of came out of nowhere. They've been able to put up 62, 60 in the past, as well as 85 against Florida State. But those have all equated to losses, Tyler. And Wake Forest is 0-4 throughout the stretch. Their last win dates back to Boston College on February 10th. That's 17 days ago. So that's been quite a stretch for Wake Forest to get into the win column. For Virginia Tech, it's been quite difficult for them to get a win as well, because they haven't won a basketball game in over 2 weeks as well. When you look at that as well, because they've been off the court with they've been off the hardwood for a while due to a COVID-19 outbreak within their program. So that means they've had to have extended time off the court, and it's led to many struggles. And as we saw that in their loss to Georgia Tech.
Well, both teams like to shoot the three ball. In fact, it's been said for both teams that they've been able to live or die by the three. For Virginia Tech, it's been going the right way for them so far. They're 8-4 in the ACC, currently stand third in the ACC standings. And on the opposite side of that, a team that's died by the three is Wake Forest, who's 3-12 in ACC play, currently a 13 seed, but they still like to shoot the three ball.
They definitely do. They're third best in the ACC when it comes to three-pointers, man, of the year with 156. That's just short of 9 a game. And Tyler, a very interesting stat that I saw from the Wake Forest Demon Deacons are they're one of the two teams in the country with three players to make 7 3-pointers in a single game. You look at that, you see Masood made 8 against Pittsburgh. You have Macias making 7 against UNC, and Antonio making 7 against Florida State. What's also crazy about that statistic, Tyler, is those are 3 ACC opponents, and 2 of those games came on the road. So maybe Wake Forest will have another guy step up today and knock them down from deep.
For Wake Forest, you mentioned they're one of 2 schools in the country with 3 players with 7+ threes in a game. The other school in that statistic being Florida Atlantic. For Wake Forest, a big struggle this season, especially away from Winston-Salem. A 1-7 record away from home. Their lone win on the road came in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, when they took on Boston College on February 10th. And in fact, that game against Boston College, their last win, as the Deacons are on a 4-game slide.
Yeah, but maybe this is a good idea for Wake Forest to get out of Winston-Salem. The closest game they were with their opponent in a 3-game homestand down in Winston-Salem was an 18-point loss to NC State back on February 20th. Besides that, it was a 24-point loss to Duke, followed by what recently was a 21-point loss to Clemson. So this is a team that struggled greatly over the last few weeks, Tyler. Maybe it's okay, refreshing to have a restart or pretty much a reset here at Cassell Coliseum. This is a team that really has nothing to lose, Tyler. So they're going to come out here. They're playing against the top 16 team in the nation with the Virginia Tech Hokies. They may look this as an opportunity to come out here and really get the momentum going back in their favor and trying to get a win. But this Virginia Tech team at home is really dominant, Tyler, and that comes with its 9-2 home record in the ACC. They've been doing fairly well on their home courts, except with the Georgia Tech loss when they lost by 16. That's a game, though, that I see as a fluke more than as a trend, simply just because after not playing for 17 days against ACC competition, it's hard to bounce back right into it, Tyler. This is a great conference. We all can agree with that, because taking some time off and then getting right back into it is going to be really difficult. But for Virginia Tech, they're going to have a few home games here. This is the second of 3-game homestand. They look to turn around today.
Virginia Tech only going to have a couple more games after this, Louisville and NC State, prior to the start of the ACC tournament. They're currently a projected 3 seed if the ACC standings hold. That would ensure them a double bye in Greensboro, they would not have to play until halfway through the designated days of the tournament on March 11th. Meanwhile, for Wake Forest, a 3-12 mark, the only teams that they are ahead of in the ACC standings are Miami and the previously mentioned Boston College Eagles. A very different storyline to reach the ACC championship.
Yeah,
game.
you have the third best team in the ACC taking on the third worst team of the ACC, and that says something. And when you talk about it, you say the third best team should easily take care of them. Well, the third worst team has just as much of a right to say, we need this game more than anyone else. I mean, what's crazy about this whole year has been everything seems to be different and been all over the place. But one thing stays in place, and that's the NCAA tournament on the line. I mean, you win your tournament, you get in. Does Wake Forest have a great shot at winning the ACC tournament? No, but can a win today change maybe the momentum of the Demon Deacons heading into the next 2 weeks before the ACC tournament? Absolutely. So this is an opportunity for Wake Forest to come out here and do its job. For Virginia Tech, it's focused on bouncing back. You mentioned that they're fighting for that double bye. That double bye is critical because we saw about 2 years ago when Virginia Tech was at that 5 and they had to go right into playing the 4 the next day. That's just a little bit of flashback for this Virginia Tech men's basketball program, but getting that 5 to that 4 is huge. You get that one day of rest that could be actually absolutely crucial to make a championship run down in Greensboro.
Well, we'll take a look at the starting lineups first for the home team and the number 16 team in the country in Virginia Tech. They'll go with graduate student Wabisa Beatty, who's being honored at Virginia Tech's Senior Day today, as well as Naheem Aline, Keve Aluma, Tyrese Radford in his second start back from an extended break, and Justin Mutz rounds out the Hokies lineup. For Wake Forest, trying to get only their 4th win in ACC play and their first win against a ranked opponent, they'll roll out with Isaiah Mucius, Davian Williamson, Ian DeBose, Jonah Antonio, and Odi Oguama. So a good lineup for both teams, especially if you take a look at Virginia Tech. You're rolling with a much more experienced roster. Wake Forest, you have a first-year head coach, Steve Forbes, previously the head coach at Eastern Tennessee State, and it's a young team compared to a more experienced Virginia Tech squad.
Yeah, for the Virginia Tech Hokies today, Tyrese Radford coming back into the starting lineup against Georgia Tech. He returns to it yet again for a second straight start. I kind of like the Virginia Tech starting lineup. I think it's a good idea to really keep with the foundation that you've built with. Tyrese Radford, he did miss some time, but he was able to bounce back and score 11 points against Georgia Tech and had a team-high 36 minutes. So he's been a critical factor ever since his return. For Wake Forest, I like the move going from Jonah Antonio instead of Carter Witt. Carter Witt has been able to get some minutes going in his favor, but started the last 2 matchups, but hasn't scored a field goal in the previous 2 Wake Forest games. So maybe putting back in Jonah Antonio, who's averaging 6.8 points a game with 20 minutes. Not that much of a minute differential between him and Witt. So I like the idea to go with Jonah Antonio, bring in another guard that can maybe help out the system a little bit more.
These two teams met earlier in the season on January 17th, a 4-point win for the Hokies in Winston-Salem. The 69th overall meeting between Wake Forest and Virginia Tech when we return here on 3304 Sports. Welcome back to Cassell Coliseum here on 3304 Sports. Tyler Katz joined alongside Andy Loce for the Virginia Tech Hokies taking on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Virginia Tech in today's game going to be wearing their all-orange uniforms with maroon nameplates and maroon stripes down the side with the Hokies word mark across the chest. For Wake Forest, meanwhile, they're going to be going all black with gold accents, gold on the bottom of their shorts as well. As we're just getting ready for tip-off for Virginia Tech, Keve Aluma will tip it off for the Hokies, and waiting for the Demon Deacons to step out of their pregame huddle with first-year head coach Steve Forbes. Forbes, his first season with the Demon Deacons, going 6-12 so far. Previously the head coach at Eastern Tennessee State, in which he made the tournament one time. He'll try to do that again with his new team down in Winston-Salem.
Yeah, and between Forbes and Coach Young for the Virginia Tech Hokies, These are two coaches that have seen each other quite often in the Southern Conference. This is their second all-time meeting in the ACC, and their first matchup of the year, Tyler, was a very close one with Virginia Tech squeaking by 64-60. So we should be in for a good one today here in Cassell.
Mike Young, when he was with Wofford, went 6-3 against Eastern Tennessee State, so he has a slight edge on Steve Forbes, winning his first matchup against him with Wake Forest. Taking the tip-off for Wake Forest will be Odio Guama for Wake Forest. In steps our head official, Brian Dorsey, to tip the ball off. He's assisted by Jerry Heater and Tommy Morrissey, and we're underway with Wake Forest winning the tip-off. It will go to Jonah Antonio, who passes it back to Davian Williamson, who's carrying it up the court. Pass off to the right side to Mucius. Mucius back to center, hands it back off to Williamson at the top of the key. Pass to the left side, it's tipped by Beatty, goes out of bounds, and it will stay with Wake Forest. In to pass it in for the Demon Deacons is Ian DeBose. Wake Forest all four back and send it past the backcourt, avoiding the backcourt violation. They'll find Odio Guama, who hands it off to Davian Williamson. Williamson, the leading scorer for the Demon Deacons, pass to the right side. He'll find Antonio. Antonio inside, stolen away. That one by Justin Mutz, taking it away.
Yeah, Guamo got in there and committed his first foul in this game, so going in the Hokies' possession.
It's Oguama's first, team's first for the Demon Deacons, and it will be Wabisa Beatty, the graduate student, inside to Keve Aluma. Aluma lays it up and in, and the Hokies draw first blood. Inside pass to Williamson. 2-0 Hokies, 19:15 to play in the first half. Mucius rolling across the left side. He'll hand it off to DeBose. DeBose back outside, three-point shot, no good by Antonio. Defensive rebound by the Hokies. It goes to Beatty. He passes it to the right side to Tyrese Radford. Radford rolls to his left just on the free throw line. Passes it back outside. Now to Aline at the top of the key. Aline back, and a shot by Aluma is good. 4-3 in the Hokies. A 5-0 run to start the game. 5-0 Virginia Tech, under 19 to play. Williamson carries the ball up the center of the court. Short pass to the right side to Isaiah Mucius. Mucius back to the top of the key. He'll find Oguama. Oguama hands it back off to Williamson on the V and the VT. He's being guarded by Beatty. Pass to the right side. Long shot by Antonio, and Antonio gets the three. First points for the Demon Deacons on the day. 5-3 Hokies.
That's how the Demon Deacons are going to get back in this one, Tyler, from behind the arc and making sure they're making most of what they have in their possessions.
The Deacons like to shoot a lot of threes. They get there first as their first points of the day. Pass by Aluma off to the left side to Beatty. Beatty rolls inside the paint just outside the restricted area, and he puts it off the glass and in. Wabisa Beatty, his first points of the day. 7-3 Hokies, 18 to go. Williamson carries it up the center of the court on the bottom of the V. He rolls to his right side. Williamson picking up the speed. Pass outside to Antonio. Antonio fakes a three. Pass back to the corner with Williamson. Williamson rolling to the left. He'll pass it farther to the left side of the court, just to the left of the free throw line. Passes it to Mucius. Now in the left corner on top of Torg Bridge. He'll hand it off to DeBose. DeBose rolling inside the arc. Pass outside to Antonio. Antonio, corner three. Can't hit it back. Iron rebound by the Hokies. And Justin Mutz. Mutz passes it off to the right side to Wabisa Beatty. Beatty behind the back pass. It gets to Aline on the left side. Pass back outside. Here comes Aluma for three, and Aluma hits it again. 10-3 Hokies, 17:15 to go, and Wake Forest, already being rattled by a 10-point surge by the Hokies, calls time.
Well, Aluma has been their big player this year so far, Tyler, for the Virginia Tech Hokies. Average about 15.5 points per game. He already has 8. And we saw his performance against Georgia Tech was phenomenal. It was yet another double-double in the year for him with 12 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists. He also was able to collect 7 offensive rebounds in this game. He's really been the workhorse for the Virginia Tech Hokies this year, Tyler. And for him to already have 8 of Virginia Tech's 10, it really shows you on how critical he's going to be going forward. It's a good 30-second timeout by Forbes, so he's going to make some changes to the lineup.
The Demon Deacons taking a timeout just 2 minutes and 45 seconds into today's contest. Ian DeBose will come out in favor of Jacoby Neath, number 0, now on the floor, and Neath will take it up the court. Passing it to Mucius on the left side. Now it's centered at the top of the key. They'll find Okpomo. Left side, they'll find Williamson. Williamson just to the left at the top of the key. Rolls even farther to his left and will get a whistle. And a foul called on Virginia Tech. That will go on Wabisa Beatty. That's his first, team's first, so both teams now with one foul. 3 minutes into today's contest. Neath to pass it in on the baseline for Wake Forest. He'll find Williamson at the corner. Rolling it back to center. Wrapping all the way around to the right side. Inside to Williamson. Williamson, an air ball, and it'll find the offensive rebound. Naheem Aline takes it away for Virginia Tech. It will now go to Radford. Radford to Mutz. Beatty rolling around to the left side. It has Aline. Aline loses possession of the ball. It goes out on Naheem Aline. It goes the way of the Deacons.
Yeah, Aline struggled with possession on Georgia Tech's game on Tuesday. He had his career worst 4 turnovers. That's the first of this game. He's going to have to get a little bit more calm with possession and make sure not to make as many mistakes as we go down the stretch.
The point leader for the Hokies so far, Keve Aluma, checks out for the graduate student Cordell Pemsel, playing in his senior day as well. The graduate transfer from Iowa checks in for the Hokies. For the Deacons, it will be Isaiah Mucius on the right side of the paint. Rolling inside, he's on the free throw line, passes it outside the arc to Antonio. Antonio passes it off to Williamson. Williamson inside the paint, fights for the shot, misses it. Offensive rebound was attained by Okpomo, but it goes to the Hokies the other way. Knocked out of bounds by Isaiah Mucius. It stays with Virginia Tech.
That was a great play by Mucius to get back in transition defense and poke that one away. It would have been an easy layup for Justin Mutz, but shows how Wake Forest is, even though they're by 7 right now, they're still in it.
Okpomo took a hard fall on the opposite side of the court. It looks like he's okay. It'll go to Pemsel. Inside to Radford. Passes it back outside. Inside to Pemsel. Fighting his way in the restricted zone. Off the glass and in. And Cordell Pemsel finds the scoreboard on his senior day here in Blacksburg. It's 12-3 Virginia Tech. 15:50 to go. Next whistle will take us to a timeout. Jacoby Neath stands at the top of the key on top of the V in the Virginia Tech at center court. They'll find Mucius on top of the Torgerson Bridge mark on the left side of the key. To Williamson on the right side, being guarded by Beatty. Rolls inside, now being double teamed. Cordell Pemsel blocks the shot by Williamson, and that fires up the Hokies bench. It goes out of bounds, and that will take us to a whistle with 15:25 to go. Virginia Tech looking dominant so far. 12-3. We'll be back here on 3304 Sports. Welcome back here to Cassell Coliseum. Virginia Tech holding a 12-3 lead after a Cordell Pemsel block. Wake Forest will pass it back in, but with only 1 second on the shot clock, this is going to have to be a quick pass and shoot. Jacoby Neath to pass it in. Will immediately be taken away by Justin Mutz. He'll pass it to Wabisa Beatty, who crosses the timeline. Virginia Tech 5 for 5 today, 100% from the field. Pass back outside to Hunter Couture, who checked in over the break. Justin Mutz has it ripped away by Carter Witt. 2 steals back-to-back on possessions. He'll hand it off to Williamson. Now to Mucius. Mucius for 3. Back iron, no good. Defensive rebound by the Hokies and Tyrese Radford. Radford up the left side, rolling inside to the inside of the arc. 3 shot by Couture, no good. First missed shot by the Hokies all day. Offensive rebound by Aluma. Pass out to Couture. It'll find Aluma again on the right side of the basket. Inside the paint, out to Radford. And we'll get a whistle, a traveling violation called on Aluma. It will go the way of Wake Forest.
Yeah, so an excellent first 4.5 minutes for the Hokies, but back-to-back turnovers on their possessions, Tyler. Wake Forest starting to figure them out a little bit. I'd like to see how Carter Witt comes back into this game after he wasn't starting, his first non-start in the last 5 games. Comes up with a big steal and really sets the momentum for the Demon Deacons.
The ball goes to Carter Witt. It will find Mucius. Hands right back to Witt, being guarded heavily by Hunter Couture of Virginia Tech. Witt pass to the left side to Neath. Neath will get it to Witt again. Rolling inside at the free throw line. Pass outside to Mucius. Mucius guarded by Aluma. Fires for 3, no good. Defensive rebound by Wabisa Beatty of the Hokies. Pass to Radford. On the left side, right in front of Steve Forbes at the Wake Forest bench. Radford rolling inside the paint. Lays it up and in. Tyrese Radford finds the score sheet. 14-3 Hokies. just under 14 to play. Carter Witt carries it up the floor. Pass to Williamson on the Carillion Clinic logo in front of the Hokies bench. Guarded by Beatty. Rolls to the left side. And a pass off to Witt. Witt at the free throw line. Passes on the inside. Tried to find Mucius. It goes out of bounds. Hokies basketball. Couple of check-ins. Ian DeBose coming back in for Wake Forest. And for Virginia Tech, David Gasson checking in for the first time today.
Yeah, both coaches are not shy from going to their bench, Tyler, and we see it already for Virginia Tech. I mean, Pemsel coming off the bench early off. He hasn't played many minutes this year, especially since he missed 10 games due to an injury. He returned to the Georgia Tech game. Glad to see him getting in on the action on senior day.
Beatty will control inside to Aluma. Aluma finds nothing but air. Defensive rebound by Carter Witt up the left side. Already 5 bench players playing for Wake Forest, and one of them, Carter Witt, nails it for 3. 2 3-pointers, the only scoring Wake Forest has been able to do today. It's 14-6, Virginia Tech. Beatty carries it up, the handoff to Aluma. It will find Aluma again after a pass off to Radford. Now a handoff to Hunter Couture. Pass outside on the left side to Wabisi Beatty. It goes out of bounds. They say it went out on Wake Forest's Jalen Johnson. It will stay with Virginia Tech.
That's a big bucket for Carter Witt. He hasn't scored in the last 2 games, but makes his first shot of the game.
Pass inbounds will go to Couture. To Beatty, back out to Couture. Fires for 3. Hits side iron, no good. Defensive rebound by Wake Forest and Odio Guama. It will find Jalen Johnson on the right side, and a traveling violation as Jalen Johnson stumbled with the basketball. It will go back the way of Virginia Tech. 14-6, 12.5 to go.
Yeah, 5 turnovers in like 7.5 minutes here for Wake Forest. Not a great start with this game when it comes to controlling the pace that you want.
Beatty on the left side being guarded by Witt. Nice screen. Gets it back out to Gasson. To the left side, it will go to Keve Aluma. Aluma in reverse, trying to get inside the paint. Double teamed, but Aluma finds the basket anyway. 16-6 Hokies. Inbound pass to Carter Witt, who takes it across to the half-court line. Witt racing inside into the paint, blocked by Hunter Couture, and it will go the way of Virginia Tech as it bounced off of Witt again.
Now going back to that last Hokies possession, Aluma, just a great move. He's been kind of quiet for the last 4 or 5 minutes. Was able to just power his way inside and reaches double figures.
Beatty will hand it off to Aluma on the left side. It will go to Gasson. And now a foul on Virginia Tech. It looks like that will go on Keve Aluma. And it will go on Hunter Couture. That's his first, team's second. Virginia Tech able to add on to their lead a little bit. They lead by 10, 16-6. With 11:52 to go, we'll be back here from Cassell Coliseum here on 3304 Sports. Welcome back to Blacksburg. Virginia Tech looking dominant so far, making 70% of their shots compared to 20 for Wake Forest, and that gives them a 16-6 advantage. It will go the way of Wake Forest after a foul by Hunter Couture. That was his first, Virginia Tech's second team foul in the first half. Carter Witt of Wake Forest will take it up. Past the timeline, rolling to the right side, handoff to DeBose. DeBose for 3. Hits the front iron. Rebound by David Gasson of Virginia Tech. Passes to the left side to Couture. Couture on the tee on the midcourt logo. Pass to the right side. Now rolling to the left, it goes through Aluma to Couture. Back outside. A quick shot is up and in by Joe Bamisil. Checking in for the Hokies during the media timeout. Witt carries, hands it off to DeBose. Inside to Oguama. Fighting his way inside the paint, Aluma smothering defense, and Aluma will take it away. Under 11 to go. It will go to Aline at the top of the key, hands it off to Couture. Pass to the left side to Gasson, inside the restricted zone, and he's fouled on the way up. So it's going to be the second team foul on Wake Forest and our first trip to the line of today's game. It will go on Ishmael Masuid, his first, team's second. So at the line will go David Gasson. Gasson, the freshman out of De Leer of the Netherlands. First shot hits the box on the backboard and goes in the net. 19-6 after the free throw. Gasson's brother Lucas actually played for Wake Forest head coach Steve Forbes, a player for Eastern Tennessee State, his older brother. Second shot back iron, no good. Defensive rebound by Wake Forest. It will be Williamson carrying it up the floor. Pass to the left side, it will go to Aguama. Pass back outside to Williamson. Right side to Johnson, who centers himself. Back to DeBose. Inside, foul on the way up. It'll go against the Hokies.
Yeah, interesting play there from the Virginia Tech Hokies, especially with Joe Bamisil coming in after the foul was called to block the shot off the backboard. One of our officials for today's game ruled that as a goaltending, so the shot will count for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons and creates an N1 opportunity.
So the foul will go on Naheem Aline, his first, team's third. The N1 shot is good for Ian DeBose, the graduate transfer from Houston Baptist. Checking back in for Virginia Tech will be Tyrese Radford. Virginia Tech leading by 10 with 10:30 to play in the first half. It's 19-9. Couture carrying the ball directly up the middle, crossing over the midcourt logo. Inside the arc to Radford. Radford spin move, lays it up. Able to tip it in is Keve Oluma. But the credit will go to Tyrese Radford. Williamson will hand it off to DeBose for Wake Forest after the Radford layup. To the left side, three-point attempt is good for Wake Forest, and that's going to be Jonah Antonio making his second three-pointer of today's game. So just 4 scoring plays for Wake Forest, 3 three-pointers, and then a 2 and an and 1 get them to their 12-point mark. Radford standing on the free throw line, being triple-teamed. He'll pass it back outside to Oluma. Oluma, handoff to Couture. Back to Oluma. Just to the right side of the paint. Fires long way away to Radford. Wide open three. It's good! Tyrese Radford buries it from deep, 24-12. Virginia Tech with 9 to play.
Yeah, the double team came to Keve Oluma, but he found the open Radford and converted for 3. Great ball movement.
A bullet of a pass on the assist for Oluma, who's actually going to steal this one away from Wake Forest. A bad pass by Oguama. Oluma now in the restricted zone, hooks the shot in. An impressive shot by Keve Oluma. He gets the assist on the play prior and gets the points on this one, and Wake Forest forced to call time again, down by 14.
I'll tell you this, Tyler. There was a moment where I thought Wake Forest was going to start getting back into this game, but Virginia Tech reestablished their dominance in this matchup, and that was really with outside shooting and inside playmaking. Wake Forest knows what they have to do to stop Keve Oluma. They're going to apply the double team, but Keve Oluma, being the player that he is also great at passing the basketball. He has 2.2 assists a game, which for a forward isn't really much to come by. He finds his open guard in Radford, who buries the three-pointer, and then that last time, he got the ball low. He was smart with it. There were 3 Demon Deacons pretty much around it, but he was still able to convert. This is just showing how much this Virginia Tech team has really grown throughout the season, and the chemistry that they've built. They're comfortable with each other, and they're able to find each other in big situations like they have in that last 2 possessions.
After the timeout, Oluma will take a seat on the bench. For Wake Forest, it will be Carter Witt, standing on the V and VT, guarded by Naheem Aline. Pass to the left side. On the elbow, off shot, but it goes in. Some sideways spin, and Jonah Antonio, his third 3 of the day. 9 points for Antonio, all of them coming from beyond the arc. Virginia Tech will control. Pemsel, spin move, lays it up and in, and Cordell Pemsel finds the basket again. 28-15, Virginia Tech leads. Witt for Wake Forest. Pass to the right side to Williamson. Being guarded heavily by Wabisa Beatty. To the left side. Guarded by Mutz. Mutz up for three. Missed shot. Defensive rebound by Virginia Tech. Tyrese Radford racing up the court. Pass to Wabisa Beatty, who centers himself on top of the key. Right side to Radford. Radford outside to Justin Mutz. Mutz fakes a shot. Loses possession of the ball, and it will go to Davian Williamson. Williamson racing up the floor, guarded by Beatty, lays it up and in. Falls on the floor looking for a call. No call. It will be 2 points for Davian Williamson. His first 2 points of the day is Wake's leading scorer. Wabisa Beatty taking the ball up the floor for the Hokies dressed in orange. Heading towards what would be the student section here at Cassell Coliseum. Wake heading towards press row. Naheem Aline outside to Radford. Radford, long three-point shot, and Tyrese Radford finds the three-pointer yet again. Radford a perfect 4 for 4 today, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. Witt and Williamson pass it back and forth. And now a foul on Wake Forest will send it the way of the Hokies. Foul on Ishmael Masuid, his second, team's third. Virginia Tech continues to heat up. They're currently 3 points away from doubling Wake Forest. They lead 31-17 with 7 to go. We'll be right back here on 3304 Sports. Welcome back to Cassell Coliseum Senior Day here in Blacksburg as Virginia Tech leading Wake Forest 31-17. Will be the graduating senior Wabisa Beatty carrying it up the floor. Pass to Mutz, he'll find Radford on top of the pylons. Inside to Justin Mutz, an easy layup by Mutz. And Virginia Tech will extend their lead to 33-17. They lead by 16. Witt for the Demon Deacons to the left side to find Antonio. To Williamson on the right side. Mike Young calling a defensive play for his team. The ball will find its way back to Witt, and another bad pass by Witt intended for Isaiah Mucius goes out of bounds and goes back the way of the Hokies.
That's the 8th turnover now for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Haven't been doing a great job at making sure they're capitalizing on their possessions.
Will be Beatty controlling for the Hokies. Justin Mutz will find the net again. He spun twice and put Wake Forest in the spin cycle, 35-17, and Virginia Tech now doubling the Deacons' score. Carter Witt takes a shot. It goes in the basket. And I'm not sure whether the official was whether that basket was on the floor or not. There was a foul called, and it was on the floor, so no basket for Carter Witt. The foul will go in Wabisa Beatty. That's his second, team's fourth. And we are going to have an official review on this foul. So with just under 6 to go, Virginia Tech has been absolutely dominating Wake Forest, leading 35-17. They have an 18-point lead, more than doubling Wake Forest's score. And perhaps more impressively, with 6 minutes left, they're only 4 points away from what Wake Forest scored their previous timeout.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how these teams have actually really stepped it up offensively. And it's really been an exciting game. And for Wake Forest, it's been Jonah Antonio, who was 9 of Wake Forest's 19. He can't just score every single basket of the Demon Deacons. They got to really spread it out and give them multiple opportunities.
So they will give the basket to Witt, but the foul was still on the floor, but the basket is good, so Wake Forest's score goes up to 19 after the review. It will go to Jonah Antonio. Because of the foul, Wake Forest keeps possession. Williamson, standing on the line, takes the shot, no good. Defensive rebound by Tyrese Radford. Radford on the left side to Couture. Centering himself, pass back out to Radford on the Carillion Clinic logo on the opposite side of the benches. It will find Cordell Pemsel. Outside to Aline. Aline for three. Hits off front iron Williamson, going behind the back to make the defensive rebound for the Deacons. Wide open shot for Wake Forest. It's good. Jacoby Neath hits the shot. He's on the score sheet for the first time today. 35-22. Hokies still lead with 5 to play. Couture To the left side, he'll find Aline. Inside to the outside, Couture for three. No good. Defensive rebound by Wake Forest and Emmanuel Okpomo. Williamson controls for the Deacons. Pass to Neath at the top of the key. Left side, it will find Williamson again. Now a wide open three for Neath, no good. And we'll get a whistle as Cordell Pemsel is on his back on the floor. We'll get another foul called on Wake Forest. This one will go on Emmanuel Okpomo. That's his first, fourth by the Demon Deacons. 4:30 to play, and checking in for the Hokies is number 5, David Gasson. 4 players off the bench have played for Virginia Tech, compared to 6 for the Demon Deacons in the first half. Couture carries it past the timeline for Virginia Tech. It will be in the hands of Gasson, who hands it off to Couture. Now Aline, open three for Naheem Aline, who hits it. 38-22 off the Aline three.
That's the 8th Virginia Tech Hokie who has scored in today's game, Tyler.
And the Hokies 5 for 9 from beyond the arc today. An impressive mark for them. It will go to Antonio for Wake Forest. Mucius back to Antonio, and they're just passing it back and forth. It will finally find a different Deacon in Neath. Controlling is Okpomo. Outside to Mucius on the left wing. Being double teamed, mostly by Aline. Shot hits off the side of the scoreboard, and Naheem Aline going to be called on the foul. He can't believe it. Putting his hands over his mouth, he'll be called for the foul. That's his second, team's 5th. Virginia Tech continuing to look impressive, shooting 76% at the under 4 media timeout. With 3:46 to play, it's Virginia Tech 38, Wake Forest 22. We'll be back here on 3304 Sports. Welcome back to Cassell Coliseum. Virginia Tech has been dominant in the first half. They lead 38-22 over the visiting Wake Forest Demon Deacons. And they've been looking like they've been possessed this entire game, shooting a unbelievable 76% from the field.
It's truly remarkable, Tyler. And, of course, we opened this broadcast talking about how both teams struggled offensively in their previous matchups. And even Wake Forest has kind of like stepped it up a bit, but for Virginia Tech, that's where the story is for them. They really struggled getting points off the bench in that performance as well against Georgia Tech. They only have 7 off the bench right now, but Aluma and Radford, 2 starters, are already in double figures. Here's an interesting stat, Tyler. In the season, when Mike Young has lost, he's lost 4 games. He's 4-0 after a loss on the year. He can make a 5-0 with a win today, which means after the 5 losses he's had, he's won all of them. In the 2019-2020 season, he did that 5 times. This is a coach that can really rally a team around a defeat and come out in the next game and have a good performance, and that's what we've seen so far from Virginia Tech.
Before we took the break, a foul by Naheem Aline will send Wake Forest to the line. It will be Isaiah Mucius, the junior out of East Patchogue, New York. First shot hits off the front of the iron, no good. Mucius back in 2018 played high school ball in New Hampshire, was named the 2018 USA Today New Hampshire Player of the Year, and taking his talents down to North Carolina and Winston-Salem. His second shot will hit off the back iron, no good. Defensive rebound by Virginia Tech, and it will be Hunter Couture taking it up. So an 0-for-2 trip to the line for the junior Mucius. Couture taking his time. 3:30 to play in the first half. 12 on the shot clock. Radford to the right side to Couture. Back to Radford. Inside. Bounce pass to Aluma. Aluma hook shot up and in. Keve Aluma with 14 points already in the first half. Virginia Tech leads 40-22. 3 minutes to play. Antonio hands it off to Mucius to Williamson for Wake Forest. We'll find Neath right in front of Mike Young. To Oguama, back to Neath. Neath for 3, no good. Defensive rebound by Keve Aluma. Pass to the right side to Couture, up the right wing. Centering, back to Radford. Mutz for 3, a wide open look, it's good. Justin Mutz buries a 3. Virginia Tech 43, Wake Forest 22. 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. Jacoby Neath carrying it past the timeline. He stands at the top of the key beyond the three-point arc. Williamson dialing up a play, receiving the pass from Neath. On the left side, Williamson fakes a pass. Now to Neath, finding Mucius. Back to Williamson on the logo. Rolling to his left side, double-teamed. Finds a wide-open Mucius. Mucius for three, no good. Hits off the backboard defensive rebound by Joe Bamasil of Virginia Tech. Wide open three for Bamasil. That hits side iron, no good. And with under 2 minutes to play, Wake Forest, Williamson will take it up the right wing. Virginia Tech 43, Wake 22. Neath going to be fouled on the way up, getting contact from Tyrese Radford, and it will be Radford called on the foul. It's Radford's first, the Hokies' sixth, so no more fouls to give for Virginia Tech in the first half. Two players will check in for Wake. Jalen Johnson and Carter Witt come back in for the Demon Deacons, as well as Ian DuBose. 6 fouls for Virginia Tech. The next one will send Wake to the line for a 1-and-1. 1:45 to play in the first half. Pass inbound, stolen away by Virginia Tech, and it's Tyrese Radford up the floor, fouled on the way up, couldn't get the ball to go in the basket, so 2 shots coming up for Tyrese Radford.
That's the speed you like to see from your guard, and Tyrese Radford makes one play on the defensive side and travels all the way up the court. So many black jerseys around him in the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, but he was still able to get a shot up and get to the free throw line and really build on this 21-point lead for the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Ian DuBose called on the foul for Wake Forest. First shot by Radford is good. DuBose just checking into the game. He'll get his first foul, Wake Forest 5th. Tyrese Radford, the redshirt sophomore out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, played a team-high 36 minutes in their previous game against Georgia Tech, scoring 11. His second shot is good, so Radford goes 2 for 2 on this trip to the line. It's 45-22. Joe Bamasil checking back in for Virginia Tech. Carter Witt carries it up the floor for the Demon Deacons. Left side to DuBose. Passes it all the way to the right wing to Neath. Centering pass to Witt. Rolling inside. Tried the alley-oop, couldn't get it. Odio Guama was the intended target. It's on the floor, and it will go the way of Virginia Tech. A foul called on Wake Forest.
Yeah, you love to see that aggressive play there from Oguama, but just not able to play with it clean. And for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, they've given up 6 personal fouls now, Tyler, so one more to give for the remainder 82 seconds of this game. Half.
Virginia Tech will take a timeout. Odio Guama called on the foul, his second. Team 6, so both teams standing with 6. And with just under 90 seconds to play, the Hokies have once again doubled the Demon Deacons score, 45-22.
Yeah, Wake Forest is definitely going to have their work cut out for them in that second half, being down by 23 points. They look like they don't have much offense. That's not including the outside shots behind the arc. They're 5 of 15 from deep, but 8 of 23 from the remainder of the field. Jonah Antonio, 9 of their 22. Carter Witt has 5 off the bench. Besides that, not a great production so far for most of these starters. Williamson, who is the team best, 12.2 points per game on the year, only has 2 points on 1 of 5 of shooting.
Ball back into play. It will be Couture carrying it up for Virginia Tech following the foul, and we'll get another whistle just as Mutz puts it in the net. And it will count as a shooting foul. It was on the floor, but 2 shots now coming up for Justin Mutz, the redshirt junior transfer from Delaware. He makes the first shot off the foul, 1-and-1 for Virginia Tech. Get a substitution in between the 2 shots. David Gasson checking back in for Virginia Tech. Mike Young calling his first timeout of the game just prior to that play. Second shot by Mutz is good. 3 timeouts remain for Virginia Tech. 2 already used by the Demon Deacons, so they have 2 remaining. DuBose on the right wing. Centering pass to Johnson. He'll find Witt on the left side. Back to DuBose. Inside the paint. Pass outside is tipped and taken away by Gasson. Gasson up the left side, lays it up, couldn't get it. Another one off the backboard. Couldn't tell who touched it on Virginia Tech, but it's Wake Forest who comes away with it. And Carter Witt taking a run and jump three. No good. Defensive rebound by Gasson. 40 seconds to play. Shot clock and game clock separated by 15, and it will be Hunter Couture slowing the ball down up the right wing. Couture will hand it off to Tyrese Radford from the free throw line. No good. Defensive rebound by Dubose. Shot clock turned off with 27 to play. Dubose carries it up, left side to Witt. Wrapping it around all the way to the left elbow. It will find its way back to Witt. Centering pass to Neath. Neath for three. No good. Defensive rebound and a whistle. It was Gasson who took it away. It will go the way of Virginia Tech. Foul called on Wake Forest.
Yeah, kind of confused right there why Wake Forest was so eager to host up a shot with 15 seconds left in the half. I get that the deficit is 25 going in against the Demon Deacons, but still, now you have bringing the Hokies to the free throw line to really add on to their lead. That's the worst thing that the Wake Forest Demon Deacons really want going for them right now.
A 12-0 run for Virginia Tech. Foul was on Ian Dubose. That's his second, team's eighth. Gasson's first shot of the 1-and-1 is up and no good. Defensive rebound by Wake Forest. 10 seconds to play. Up the court comes Dubose, being double-teamed by the Hokies, and a foul's going to be called on Tyrese Radford. So now going to the line to try to end the scoring drought for Wake Forest is going to be Ian Dubose, the graduate student from Durham, North Carolina. Returning to his home state after playing his 4 academic years at Houston Baptist. His shot is no good on the 1-and-1. Pass inside with 3 seconds left. Here goes Bamasile, who throws it down! With emphasis, Joe Bamasile ends the half with an exclamation point. 49-22 Hokies.
Well, nothing like getting that half off of the Bam Jam right there, Tyler. He just took it to the length of the court and threw it down. Very nice move made there for the freshman. And if you had to see a play that really explained that first half, Joe Bamasile gave it to us right there in the final seconds.
I have no words for what Joe Bamasile just did, almost taking off from the end of the ACC logo and able to put it in just before the buzzer. And they take a huge lead into the locker room. They lead 49-22 over Wake Forest.
Certainly does, Tyler. This has really been Virginia Tech from the get-go. And personally, right now with a 27-point lead, it's just been amazing for them so far. A 14-0 run right now for the Hokies as well. They just really added on to the score, and they've made it really hard for Wake Forest to come back in the second half. So a great first half performance. You know, this is the kind of result that you want to see if you're Virginia Tech on senior day. You've got Beatty involved in this game. You've also got Pemsel involved with 4 points in this game. But that's what I want to talk about there, Tyler. 8 Hokies have scored in this game so far. We mentioned how they struggled so much getting the ball in the basket last game, and especially only 7 points off the bench so far in this first half. They have 9, and Bamasile was the one to put it at 9 right there with some emphasis. But they just look like a much better team right now on the courts, and they're looking like they're going to go on their way for their 9th ACC victory of the season and their 10th here at Cassell Coliseum.
Yeah, the only Hokie not to score that has played a minute for Virginia Tech is Hunter Couture. And he's been a playmaker, already 2 assists so far today. And you just take a look at some of the stats for Virginia Tech. At the half, you have 2 players scoring in the double digits. Keve Aluma with 14, Tyrese Radford with 12. And this is just a huge comeback game and a big game to come back after losing by 16 to Georgia Tech your last time out. You were coming off a 17-day break, but now to come in and dominate Wake Forest the way they've done in the first half, it's got to be a major confidence boost heading into the final couple games of the season. Not to mention, you have a whole nother second half to play.
Exactly, and this is a great start. 27-point lead going into the break is something that every team would want there, Tyler. But this is the last game you can be calm, because next game is March 3rd, and you know what that is, March Madness. So that's when the craziness begins for, you know, across the whole slate of college basketball that begins. But for right now, that's what it's all about, is Virginia Tech being able to say, we're playing for something here. We're playing for that double bye in Greensboro. We don't want to play until Thursday. We don't want to play until we get a little bit more of a better and favorable matchup. And they've done that so far. And they've really said that Georgia Tech game was a fluke. And that's not how we're going to be playing from here on out for the season. But for the Virginia Tech Hokies, all credit's really here to Mike Young for being able to rally this team back after a loss. They've had some really close losses. They've had some really devastating defeats. That Georgia Tech game may arguably be the worst loss of the year for the Hokies. For them to be able to bounce back like this in the first half has been a really good sign and is really showing to this younger team of players that, you know what, that was the last game. You got to put that behind you, and you got to make sure that going forward you don't make future mistakes based off of past results, and that's what we saw in this first half.
Well, we'll see if Virginia Tech continues to put their foot on the gas pedal in the second half, or whether Steve Forbes and company will able to make this game back in reach at the start of the second half. But it's been all Hokies so far, leading by 27. We'll take a break for halftime, and we'll be right back here on 3304 Sports.
Hello, and welcome back here to Cassell Coliseum. My name is Andy Loce. I'm joined alongside with Tyler Katz, and the Virginia Tech Hokies had a dominating first half performance over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons as they lead 49-22 here in Blacksburg. Around 5 p.m. as we're just getting ready to get action underway for the second half. Virginia Tech with a lot on their side right now. A 27-point lead, momentum. They're looking like they're a great team. Wake Forest, on the other hand, is really scratching their head right now and figuring out what to do. Tyler, if the Wake Forest Demon Deacons are going to get back in this game, what's going to start with?
Well, we mentioned earlier how Wake Forest is a team that loves to shoot the three. They had 17 three-point attempts, only hitting around 30%. They went 5 for 17 in the first half. You're going to need to find a lot of open looks. Virginia Tech has shown a tendency to double team later in that first half. If they continue doing it, there's guaranteed to be one person who's got an open look, and it's just calming your nerves, taking your time, and making your shots.
Wake Forest will be operating from north to the north side of the court for this second half, while Virginia Tech will now be working to the south side, and Virginia Tech will start with possession for this second half. The Virginia Tech Hokies are going to be working with their starting 5 with Wake Forest. They're going to be going with their 4, but instead of Ian DeBose, they're going to go with Jacoby Neath in their starting lineup. Play was set to get underway, but a little bit of a clock issue as they had to reset the time to 20 minutes, and we are underway. So 49-22, the Virginia Tech Hokies on top of Wake Forest. Aleem with the ball on the near wing as he gives it back up to Aleem on the top perimeter. Finds the cutting Beatty, who tries to elevate for the slam, but he's blocked by the Demon Deacons. DeBose was the one who got his hand in there, and it's off the Virginia Tech Hokies. I believe it was off of Wabisa Beatty, so it'll be Wake Forest ball. So great adjustment defensively to get the second half going. Now it's Wake Forest with the ball as they bring the ball up the court. It's going to be Williamson with the ball, who gives it back up to the boat. Mucius now down low inside the paint as he's working around, but Justin Mutt's playing great one-on-one defense with him. Trying to work it inside on that right block, lays it up, too strong off the glass, but a rebound was put up there by Oguama, but he couldn't get it to go, and it's rebounded by the Hokies. Aluma brings the ball up the court as he gives it to Beatty as he crosses the timeline. 19:15 left to go here in this game. Virginia Tech up by 27. Mutz with the ball on the Virginia Tech logo as he swings it on over to Radford, who finds Aluma near that far corner. It is iso ball now on Oguamo, but he throws it back out to Mutz, going to fire from the left wing, and it rattles in and out, and it's rebounded by Antonio, who is going to give it on up to Neath. Neath gives it off to Antonio, who gives it back out to Mucius. Mucius gives it back to Oguamo. Neath driving inside, kicks it back out to Williamson, going to fire from deep, going to be short off the iron, but rebounded by DeBose and swatted away by Mutz. Alina on the open court now, laying with the left hand and gets the roll in off the rim for our first points of the second half. It's 51-22 Hokies with 18:30 to go. Oguamo going to pull up from the baseline corner, but couldn't get it to go as it missed it all, and Radford is the one with the rebound. He works the ball past the timelines. He goes to the far wing, who kicks it back over to Beatty, who swings it to Aleem. Aluma squaring away for 3, buries it.
And that pushes Virginia Tech's run to 19 after the 3 for Virginia Tech.
A dominant run and now a dominant score to show for it. 54-22 Virginia Tech over Wake Forest. Antonio with the ball as he gives it over to Mucius, who kicks it to the corner for Neath. Going inside now is Oguamo, going to be working on Mutz. He draws the foul but couldn't get the shot to go as it was off the front iron. So we'll have our first attempt at the line in this game, of this half to Oguamo. Oguamo has yet to visit the line today. Wake Forest as a team is 1-4 in today's matchup. He'll have 2 free throw attempts to get the first Wake Forest points of this half. The first free throw is no good as it's off the back iron, and some substitutions coming in now for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons as Adams will be making his appearance in replace of Neath. This will be Adams' first appearance of the game, which will be the 12th Wake Forest Demon Deacon to head the court today. Oguamo is going to take a second free throw attempt, and that one is nothing but nylon.
And that's the first points Wake Forest has scored since the 5-minute mark of the first half when Neath hit a 3-pointer. So finally ending an extremely long scoring drought.
Masood checks on in for Oguamo after he made that free throw. Bradford with the ball now on the near wing as he gives it off to Aluma, who tried to bounce it on inside the Mutts, but a kicked ball off Masood will bring the ball out of bounds with 20 seconds on the shot clock in the Hokies' possession. 17:41 remaining here in Cassell Coliseum. The Hokies up by 31 over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, 54-23. Beatty going to throw the inbound pass on the baseline as he gives it to Aluma, who hands it off to Radford, who cuts up to the top of the perimeter. Kicks it on over to Beatty on the far wing, using his dribbles to try to create some separation, but Aluma comes in for the screen, who he kicks it back out, who thought about shooting it, but was tipped out of bounds by Jonah Antonio, who was looking for the Naheem Aline. 8 seconds left on the shot clock for the Hokies, as Aline's going to be the one to inbound it for Virginia Tech. Looking to find open teammate, he bounces over to Beatty. 6 on the shot clock. Aline going to fire from the left wing, and that one goes in. Naheem Aline was the one who gave it to Beatty, and Beatty returns the favor to Aline, who buries the 3-pointer, and it's now 57-23 Hokies with 17 left to play.
And now that's a 22-1 run for the Hokies.
Wake Forest now with the ball in the far wing. It's Williamson with possession as he works it back out to the Virginia Tech logo. Using his dribble to get by Beatty, who tries to fire to Masood, and it's deflected off the Virginia Tech Hokies, and it will go in Wake Forest's possession. I believe that maybe the referees are going to talk about it for a little bit. One official pointed in the way of Wake Forest, but he's about to hand over to Justin Mutz. Just a simple confusion between who was going with the ball. So it will be Virginia Tech possession and another turnover for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Beatty has possession as he crosses the timeline for the Hokies as he gives it on over to Mutz on the top of the perimeter, who finds Aline. Aline swings it back over to Beatty. Beatty tries to drive inside, but kicks out for Aluma. Squared away, 3-pointer, and that one rattles in. Virginia Tech is red hot from behind the arc. They're now 9 of 15 from deep against the Demon Deacons. It's 60-23 Hokies. Adams with possession of it as he kicks it back over to Mucius, who finds Antonio, who bullets it inside to Adams, but he gives it back on up. Adams now with a dribble as he drives inside, and the floater is good, and the Demon Deacons, with just under 4 minutes into this half, get their first field goal of the second half.
And almost a quarter of this game passed between Wake Forest field goals.
Beatty with the ball as he gives it off to Aline, and Beatty works it now to the baseline corner. Aline sticking 3. That one's short, and it's ripped away from Jonah Antonio as a jump ball was called on the floor. Possession arrow will be given over to the Demon Deacons, but that will bring us to our first media timeout of this second half. It's Virginia Tech 60, Wake Forest 25. You're listening to ACC Basketball on 3304 Sports. Welcome back here to Cassell Coliseum. Right now, as the Virginia Tech Hokies lead the Wake Forest Demon Deacons 60-25. Let's go around the ACC a bit and just check out what's happening around the league in the second to last weekend of the regular season. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, they won here at Cassell Coliseum on Tuesday and pick up a big victory against the Syracuse Orange, 84-77. The Clemson Tigers securing a victory as well to go 2-0 in the week with a 66-53 victory over the Miami Hurricanes. And Boston College winning a shootout against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 94-90. Currently in action right now, the Florida State Seminoles leading the North Carolina Tar Heels 41-29 at the break. And later tonight at 8 p.m., Louisville at Duke. That should be a good one for the ACC. But, Tyler, a couple teams that are on that bubble conversation, Georgia Tech and Clemson, getting some big wins in today's game. But, honestly, the eyes are attracted to Duke and North Carolina. You know, those Tobacco Road rivalry. They both have to get some wins down the stretch to really make it to the tournament.
Yeah, and with just a couple games looking forward, North Carolina right now projected as a lower seed in Joe Lunardi's bracketology. Duke out of the one of the first four out. They're not currently listed in the tournament bracketology right now. So both are going to be looking for a couple of big wins down the stretch as well as at the ACC tournament.
Yeah, Virginia Tech is making sure their business is done right now, up 60-25 against the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. We're back underway here at Cassell Coliseum as Masood is going to fire up the three-pointer. The foul was called there on Gasson, who just checked in for the game for the Hokies. So Masood is going to be able to go to the free throw line for 3 free throws. He is 0 of 1 from the field today, and he'll have his first 3 free throw attempts of today's game. His free throw is up and good. Gasson checked in for the Virginia Tech Hokies, while Ian DeBose and Carter Witt checked in for the Demon Deacons. Masood's second free throw attempt is good. 2 of 2 on this trip. He has one more, as it's now 60-27, Virginia Tech over the Demon Deacons with 15:46 remaining. This third free throw is up, and that one rattles in and out, just close to having a perfect trip to the free throw line. It's rebounded by Justin Mutz, who gives it over to Beatty, who crosses the timeline. He finds the cutting the lead in the far corner, and the lead using the right-hand dribble to work it inside, and passes it to Justin Mutz. But a foul called on the floor. It is going to go against the Virginia Tech Hokies, as Hunter Couture will be checking in now for Wabisa Beatty.
Virginia Tech today has done a great job from the field. Dominant, shooting over 50% while maintaining great defensive poise, and I expect that to continue heading into the later parts of the second.
DeBose with possession, and now for Wake Forest, he gives over to Masood, who gives it back on over to DeBose. A fire three-point attempt from Adams is no good, as it's rebounded by DeBose. DeBose finds Carter Witt, who misses it all as it's short, who is rebounded by Johnson. Johnson gives it back out to DeBose. DeBose going to be working inside. Solid spin move, but couldn't get the bounce, and rebounded by Justin Mutz. He finds Hunter Couture, who's going to work the ball up the court now for the Hokies, as he works it from the right wing to the top of the key. Dangerous pass from Couture, but Mutz was able to collect it as Johnson almost poked it away. Mutz working inside with the left hook. Can't get it to go, but Gasson follows and lays it in for the Hokies, and he gets on the scoreboard with that layup right there. It's his first field goal of the game. He's 1 of 3 from the line. Masood driving inside for the Demon Deacons, but it's poked away from Gasson, and it was last touched by the Demon Deacon, and it goes out of play. It would now be Virginia Tech possession, as we have a few substitutions coming in now for both teams. Jonah Antonio coming on in for Ian DeBose, and Joe Bamasil coming in for Tyrese Radford. 14:32 remaining here in Cassell Coliseum. The Hokies on top of the Demon Deacons, 62-27. Couture brings the ball up for Virginia Tech as he stands on the VT logo with Carter Witt playing defense on him. Gives it over to Gasson on the right wing, who finds Bamasil on the top of the perimeter. Trying to go inside, kicks it out to Aline, who gives it now into Justin Mutz down low in that left block. Almost poked away, but lays in, and with the patience, he was almost able to get it to convert, but he missed it, and it's no good. And now a scramble for it under the hoop, as Bamasil was the one who poked away, as that shot from Couture was no good. A bunch of chaos happening as Jonah Antonio has it stripped away by the Hokies, and it was last touched by the Demon Deacons and goes out of play in favor of the Hokies.
2 straight steals by Virginia Tech, showing that they are not letting off the gas pedal and letting Wake Forest take a free possession. They're going to fight tooth and nail till the clock hits 0 in the second half to make a statement win in the ACC.
That's great, as the 14th turnover against the Demon Deacons, as Couture inbounds it to Pemsel, and Pemsel hands off to Aline, fires it, and it's good. Naheem Aline is now 3 of 5 from behind the arc, and he adds to this rout as it's Virginia Tech 65, Wake Forest 27. Adams with the ball on the top of the left wing as he gives it on over to Carter Witt. Carter Witt going to drive the baseline, pulls up. Couture with the block and a save by Pemsel. Couture giving it down now to Gasson, but poked away by Jonah Antonio, and it's last touch by Antonio, and it goes out of play. It'll be Hokies possession, and just great job defensively on that end, Tyler. This block from Couture, and then the save by Pemsel, and then almost turned out to be an easy layup in on the fast break, but it stays with the Hokies. 13:28 remaining in this game as the inbound from Bamisile finds Couture, who Couture almost bullets inside to Gasson, but poked out of play by Isaiah Ucias.
And a 16-5 difference in this half in favor of Virginia Tech just shows that they are not taking their foot off.
Pemsel finds the open Gasson, who thought about three, but drives in with the left hand instead, throws it up, can't get it to go, but a foul is called on the shooting foul. So 2 shots coming up for Gasson, who is 1 of 3 from the line today. He has a team high 5 rebound share with the Luma and Radford, and now being able to add some points to his name.
And we knew Gasson was going to take some time, get a few more minutes after Jalen Cone was diagnosed with an ankle injury and is now out indefinitely. And we're seeing that as Gasson is stepping up in this game against the Deacons.
Gasson cannot get the first free throw to go, so that becomes 1 of 4 in this game. The second free throw attempt gets the roll, and it falls in for his second converted free throw out of 5. It is 66-27, Virginia Tech over Wake Forest. Just over 13 minutes remaining as Williamson crosses the timeline for the Demon Deacons. Fires here to Antonio, who gives it back to Mucius. Mucius finds Adams on the weave. Open Williamson, but blocked again from Couture. Aline is the one who's able to collect the rebound as he gives it to Pamsil, who's on the top of the perimeter, trying to direct one of his guards to come near him. Bamisile is the one who collects the pass. He's going to fire from the free throw line, off the back iron, no good, and it's rebounded by Mucius. Mucius goes quickly to give it over to Williamson, who gives it right back to Mucius. Mucius now on the Virginia Tech logo finds Adams, who finds Antonio. Antonio on the near wing, going to find it back to Mucius, who fires from 3 and connects. It's the first 3-point attempt to go down for Wake Forest in this second half. They are now 1 of 5 from behind the arc. Virginia Tech is 4 of 6 in this half for comparison. 66-30, Virginia Tech over Wake Forest with just over 12 minutes remaining. Gasson is going to hand it off to Aline, who bounce passes back to Gasson, and Gasson going up with the right hand and uses his body to get the lay-in to go. He's now up to 6 points in today's matchup. We're at the 12-minute mark now as the Hokies are up 68-30 over the Demon Deacons. Adams gives it to Macias, who gives it on over to Oguama, who gives it on back to Williamson, back over to Adams. Adams with the spin move, the right-hand floater, can't fall, and rebounded by Hunter Couture. Couture seems to do well on the defensive side with 3 blocks, but is yet to get a shot to fall in today's game. Couture now on the Virginia Tech logo, gives over to Gasson, who hands it on over to Aline. Aline's taking 3-pointer again, and that one can't get to go. He's been hot in the second half, but that one cannot convert. 11:30 remaining, Hokies on top as Antonio fires from deep, and he buries it. It's been a rough day shooting the ball for Wake Forest, but Jonah Antonio has been on the money, 4 of 6 from behind the arc. The team leading 12 points as we have 11:15 remaining, 68-33 Wake Forest. Trails. Pamsil driving inside, finds a lead on the baseline, but the referee is going to call a traveling violation on Naheem Aline, and that will bring us to our media timeout. Well, it's 68-33, Virginia Tech over Wake Forest. They surely look like they're on their way for their 9th ACC victory of this year. But we'll go to a media timeout. You're listening to the ACC Men's Basketball on 3304 Sports. Welcome back here to Cassell Coliseum. The Virginia Tech Hokies lead the Wake Forest Demon Deacons 68-33. And Tyler, we were talking about over the break, 60.5%. You know what that is? That's how Virginia Tech is shooting from the field. They've been able to do it all day today. With a hot shooting team like Virginia Tech, do you think this is the right time for them to be heating up at this time of year?
This is the best time to be heating up. At the end of the year, you have 2 games to play. And a long break, you might have taken a game to get used to being able to play ACC level basketball again in their previous game against Georgia Tech. But with just 2 games to play, heading into the ACC tournament and a subsequent March Madness appearance, which it looks like Virginia Tech is going to get into the tournament this season, this is the perfect time to be heating up. And if they can keep that going until late March, look out for Virginia Tech when we hit Indiana for the NCAA tournament.
Exactly. The statistic that's really jumped out to me this game, though, Tyler, has been the points off turnovers. Virginia Tech with 22 compared to Wake Forest's 2 showed how the Hokies have really dominated with possession while Wake Forest has been fragile at times. We're back to action here in Blacksburg as Wake Forest starts off with the possession with just under 11 minutes to go. Neat's going to find Antonio out there in the near corner who's going to fire away the three-pointer. That one can't go, and it's rebounded by Aluma. Aluma now has a team-high 6 rebounds in this game as BD is going to work it past the timeline. High screen from Mutz, who BD finds Mutz, who finds the cutting Couture, who fires it from deep, and he misses it all, but it's rebounded by Tyrese Radford, who lays it back in with the left hand, and an and-one opportunity coming up now for the redshirt junior.
And again, Virginia Tech not taking their foot off the gas pedal. They're leading Wake Forest by 8 in this second half and continuing to go. They're currently leading by 37 points.
It's a no good from Radford on the free throw line, but it's rebounded by Wake Forest. Neath was the one who worked up the ball and gives it over to Williamson, who finds Antonio on the VT logo. Masood is the one with the ball as they give it over to Oglama. Williamson with the ball again as he works it out to the top of the perimeter and finds Neath, who is on the near wing. A screen there from Ogama, but Neath wasn't going to take it as Masood is the one with the ball. And Couture almost coming in there for the steal and diving for the ball. He took out one of the Wake Forest chairs, but the referee is going to say that he was out of bounds, and Couture is slow to get up now for the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Andy, it looked like his head hit into the Wake Forest water cooler. That's why he was slow to get up. Ran over a chair and then running into the Gatorade cooler behind the Wake Forest bench.
You know what was a great moment right there? Isaiah Wilkins, the transfer from Virginia Tech, was over there to go check on his former teammate, Hunter Couture, to see if he was okay. The shot goes up from Wake Forest, but a shot clock violation as there was no time remaining on that shot clock whatsoever as Oglama tried to throw up the shot. But you see a great moment right there where you really put the matchup aside and it really comes down to really the relationship building between each other. John Ogiaco is coming to the table, as you can hear the cheers as he's making his appearance in today's game.
Yeah, Ogiaco had to miss the first 9 games of this season with an ankle injury. He's played 8 total minutes this season, so a cheer from the crowd getting to see Ogiaco in action.
Couture standing in that corner, so he's still in the game, as Beatty is the one who passes the timeline with the ball as he gives over to Radford, who drives him with the left hand, gets the contact, but can't get the shot to fall. So 2 more free throws coming in for Tyrese Radford. He is 2 or 3 from the line today. Has 6 rebounds, which is tied for the team most, 14 points. You can tell that Couture is a little bit rattled up right there after that hit, but he's still in this action as we speak.
He's still rubbing the back of his head, swaying side to side, moving his head around. You can tell that Couture's still in a bit of pain from that fall.
Bradford's able to connect on the first free throw. Now that's not a team's best 3 of 4. Tech on the line today, the Hokies on the line today, are 7 of 11. Bradford looks to make it 8 of 12. The free throw up, and it takes a couple bounces off the rim, but can't get it to go, and Wake Forest collects the rebound. Carter Witzel the one with the ball now for Wake Forest as he crosses the timeline for the Demon Deacons. Stands on the VT Loto and gives it over to Masood. Masood's going to find Oglama, but he hands it back on over to Witt. Witt going to be looking for the cutting Antonio, but the option wasn't there, so Witt's going to take it to the basket himself, who finds the cutting Adams with whose acrobatic shot couldn't go. And now Couture and Oglama trying to fight for the ball. Almost went out of play, but Beatty saves it, and now he brings the ball up the court for the Hokies. Gives it over to Radford, who feeds Ogiaco for the first time in this game. The Hokies on the bench getting up and getting excited. Ogiaco working the post move, goes up with the right hand, and the foul is called. Incredible patience there from John Ogiaco to not give up on that play as Oglama was playing one-on-one defense with him down low on that near block. And for John Ogiaco, he can get the Hokies their largest lead of the game. It was at 39 at one point Ojiako's not really known for his free throw shooting, but he has an opportunity to get on the board for the first time today. First shot is no good. It hits off the left iron, and it doesn't get it to fall. His second free throw attempt coming on up for the Hokies. Second shot at the front iron is no good, but Tyrese Radford comes in there and collects the offensive rebound. It was almost poked away by the Demon Deacons, but Ojiako gets it again, and a traveling violation called on Ojiako as he began his post move.
And I think Virginia Tech was looking for a foul on Tyrese Radford, but just didn't get the call.
Mucius checks back in now for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. 8:57 remaining here in Cassell Coliseum. The Hokies on top 71-33 as two substitutions are coming now in for the Hokies as Bamasil and Alid check in as Beatty and Radford exit.
And with time winding down at senior day, yes, Virginia Tech has one more game, but what will Beatty's final appearance in his senior day game be for Virginia Tech?
Carter Wick crosses the timeline for the Demon Deacons, who hands it on over to Adams. Adams going to find Antonio, who is now on the near wing, but kicks it back over to Adams, who gives out to Masood. Masood now given over back to Munices, who finds it on over to Adams. Adams finds a cutting Antonio, who dribbles it back up to the near wing, and it's blocked by Gasson. Alim with possession of it now as he gives over to Hunter Couture, who is met by a defender right outside the three-point line. Couture keeping possession of it, though, as John Ojiako gives him the high screen. Couture was looking, but didn't deliver to Ojiako. Gasson will now, as Carter Wick comes in to try to take it away from Ojiako, but he commits the foul in doing so. DuBose is going to check back in for Wake Forest as Jonah Antonio will depart from this game. 71-33, Virginia Tech on top of Wake Forest with 8:11 remaining in this game. Couture going to inbound the ball to Gasson. Gasson on the top of the block, gives it inside to Ojiako. Two Wake Forest defenders come around him. He fires up a shot, but it's no good, and it's rebounded by Carter Witt, who's now in fast break. He finds Mucius, who fires from the near corner and buries that one. It's the third made three-pointer of the second half for Wake Forest, and it cuts into their deficit. It's now 71-36, Hokies on top of the Demon Deacons. Couture finds Gasson. Gasson now on the near wing, finds Bamasil, who's in the near corner. Kicks it back out to Aline on the top of the perimeter, goes in with the left hand, blasts it inside to Gasson, but he couldn't handle it, and it's taken away from DuBose of Wake Forest. DuBose working inside, Euro steps on in, and it fouled on the way up. So two free throws coming up for Wake Forest, but we'll have a media timeout in between as the Virginia Tech Hokies continue the lead over Wake Forest 71-36. You're listening to ACC Men's Basketball on the 3304 Sports. 7:30 remaining in this game at Cassell Coliseum as the Virginia Tech Hokies lead the Wake Forest Demon Deacons 71-36. Virginia Tech, keeping their starters in as we go late into this game. Actually, all five starters in right now for the Virginia Tech Hokies. For Wake Forest, they have a good mixture of some starters and some of their bench players. But right now, Ian DuBose will be heading to the line for the Demon Deacons as he will have two free throw attempts coming up. It's a foul that committed before the media timeout.
Ian DuBose going to the line, a graduate transfer from Houston Baptist. His senior year at Houston Baptist was named the 2020 Student Athlete of the Year down at Houston Baptist University. And taking his talents to Winston-Salem has so far been helping the Demon Deacons. He only has 3 points today, but we've seen him in a lot of play calls as more of a role player rather than a scorer.
Exactly, and today, not been a lot of Wake Forest players that have really had the opportunity to get some points next to their name. DuBose today is 1 of 3 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line. That first free throw rattles in and out for DuBose. So that makes it 1 and 3 from the line as he's about to attempt his second free throw. That one is good as it falls. It's 71-37 now. Virginia Tech over Wake Forest. And the Demon Deacons going to be applying a little bit of a box of one press right now against the Hokies. Beatty's the one who crosses the timeline, though, for Virginia Tech as he finds the cutting Radford. Radford bounces it back out to Beatty. A high screen coming from Aluma. Beatty works now inside to the elbow. Aluma going to fire from deep, and he buries that one. He's 5 of 5 from behind the arc. Keve Aluma has been absolutely dynamite today for the Virginia Tech Hokies. 23 points on his name.
9 for 10 from the field, also an impressive mark, not just that 5 for 5 from beyond the arc.
Masuda's the one who gives it back to the Bows. The Bows driving on Aluma, throws it up and gets a nice friendly bounce for it to fall. So Wake Forest now with 39 as it's 74-39 Virginia Tech over the Demon Deacons. 35-point lead with 6:37 remaining. Aluma now on the top of the key as he finds Beatty on the near wing. High screen coming from Mutz. Beatty gets a double team, finds the open Mutz, who kicks it back over to Aline, who takes a step in and fires. It's just short, but Keve Aluma rebounds it, puts it back up, and it's no good on the shot, and rebounded by Carter Witt of the Demon Deacons, who finds the open Adams, who was almost trying to get a slam, but couldn't get it to go and went for the layup and blocked by Aluma. Aluma hangs it now over to Beatty, who crosses the timeline for the Hokies. Aluma with a high screen. It just missed, though, as Beatty working on Adams now. Kicks it back out to Aluma, who swings it on over to Radford on the far wing. Radford bounces it inside to Justin Mutz, who's now working one-on-one there with Macias. Goes up with him, and Macias gets a hand in there on the block, and Wake Forest now in transition. DeBose finds Carter Witt. Carter Witt with a floater just over the outreach hands of Justin Mutz, but can't get it to go, and rebounded by Mutz, who hangs it on over to Beatty. Beatty taking his time now with 5:30 remaining in this game. Virginia Tech up 74-39 for Wake Forest. Aline drives it inside with the right hand, but fouled on the way up. He'll have 2 free throws coming up for Naheem Aline. 3 Virginia Tech starters are now in double figures. Aline's one of them with 11 points. Radford with 15, and Keve Aluma with 23. Aluma has his first free throw trip to the line as he's able to bury the first attempt.
And Aluma, the following Mike Young over from Wofford this season, came into this game averaging 15.5 points per game. That will go up with his 23 points today, but also a 2-time ACC Player of the Week, and I think we could be seeing that honor given to him again after his performance today.
Aline gets a nice roll off the rim on a second free throw attempt and makes both free throws as all the starters were subbed out besides Wabisa Beatty, keeping him in there. John Ogiaco, Hunter Couture, Joe Bamisil, and David Gasson all check back in for the Hokies. Carter Witt crossed the timeline for the Demon Deacons as a handoff to Antonio gives it right back to Witt. Witt trying to swing that one over to Masson, but looks as if Gasson was in the way of it and got the steal. Couture is the one who crosses half court now for the Hokies, who bounce inside to Ogiaco. The double team is pressed back on Ogiaco again as now he's working on Oguama. He tries to throw up the shot, but can't get it to go as he's down on the ground, and a foul was committed on Ogiaco as Oguama got the rebound and was working it down the court, but almost tripped over on Ogiaco. 5 minutes flat remaining here at Cassell Coliseum as the Virginia Tech Hokies lead the Wake Forest Demon Deacons 76-39. Carter Witt crosses half court for the Demon Deacons. It gives it over to DeBose. DeBose driving inside. Great step inside. It's rebounded by Oguama, but his layup can't go. And Wake Forest had 2 looks out of it at the rim, but neither could have fallen. And John Ogiaco collects the rebound for Virginia Tech. Beatty now with possession of it. He crosses half court and stands on the Virginia Tech logo. Finds Bamisil on that near wing, who gives it over to Gasson. Gasson finds Beatty on the top of the perimeter. Beatty working inside, spin move. Almost lost his handle of it, but kept his possession alive. 4 seconds on the shot clock. It fires it up. No good, and it's rebounded by Oguama. Oguama hands it on over to Carter Witt. And Witt going to think about 3, but drive with the left-handed sag. Kicks it back over to DeBose. DeBose sticking with it now as he works on the top of the perimeter, drives inside, kicks out to Masson. Masood actually is pronunciation, as it's no good, and rebounded by Joe Bamisil. Joe Bamisil is going to find Wabisa Beatty with just 4 minutes remaining in this game. Beatty keeps with it now. He finds Hunter Couture, who is now in that near corner. He finds Bamisil on the top of the perimeter, who takes a jab step in, and now goes with his dribble. He ends up with 2 Demon Deacons. It kicks out to Beatty, who looks for 3. Yes! Wabisa Beatty buries the three-pointer. It's his first attempt of the game, and it finds the bottom of the net. And Virginia Tech now with its largest lead of the game, 79-39 over Wake Forest. The Bows with the ball with Wake Forest. He drives inside, and it's turned over as it's grabbed away from Hunter Couture. Hunter Couture with the interception on one side. Think about three, but keeps his dribble alive. Swings it on over to Beatty, who finds Bamasil on the near wing. He fires it from deep. Yes! Joe Bamasil buries the three-pointer for Virginia Tech. It's his second of the game, and it's now 82-39 Virginia Tech all over the Demon Deacons.
And the last time Virginia Tech has had this kind of offense was all the way back into December when they were taking on non-conference opponent Longwood. They scored 84 in that game, so to do this against an ACC opponent, no matter where they are in the ACC standings, is really impressive. Virginia Tech putting on a show offensively.
They're definitely putting on a show, Tyler, but with 3 minutes remaining, we are into the media timeout, so we'll be taking a timeout with them, Tyler, and when we come back, we'll see the conclusion of this Virginia Tech versus Wake Forest matchup. You're listening to ACC Men's Basketball on 3304 Sports. Welcome back here to Cassell Coliseum. The Virginia Tech Hokies are all over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, 82-39. It's their largest lead of the game, 43-point differential. It's really been this type of game ever since 5 minutes remaining in the first half, Tyler, and the Hokies look to be on their way for another ACC victory.
Yeah, this would be Virginia Tech's 9th ACC victory of the year. With 3 minutes left, they look to improve to 9-4 in conference play, 15-5 overall, and maybe most importantly for a Coach of the Year candidate, going 5-0 this season following a loss.
That's really the big statistic. How can you respond to your defeats? And Mike Young seems to have that figured out right now for Virginia Tech. Just waiting for the conclusion of this media timeout now as the Wake Forest Demon Deacons will have possession to start off this resumption into play. 180 seconds remaining in this one, folks, as Wake Forest is able to cross the timeline with Williamson, who gives it on over to Jonah Antonio, who finds Masood, who drives it inside, but blocked away from Ojiako. Adams has the ball, it kicks over to Antonio, who gives over to Williamson, who Masood going to fire from three. He gets the better end of that possession as he buries a three-pointer from the corner to make it 82-42. Beatty going to be crossing the timeline now for the Hokies. Wake Forest not taking their gas off the pedal just yet, as Gasson has possession of it and gives it to Ojiako on the top of the elbow. Beatty going to find Gasson. Gasson has a separation, and he misses it all on that three-point attempt.
And Gasson left his hand hooked as if almost to say, how did I miss that shot that badly?
Definitely does, as a timeout has been called on the court. I thought we were going to get a substitution on the play, but instead it looks as if we're going to get another media timeout with 2:16. We'll stick around with this one with you folks. But Tyler, there's so many stats that say this game was a little bit closer than it actually was, especially from the rebound perspective. The Hokies only out-rebounding Wake Forest by 5 rebounds, 37-32. Wake Forest is one of the best teams in the nation, not the nation, in the ACC, the 5th best with defensive rebounding percentage with 73.9%. And Tyler, this is a devastating loss for Wake Forest. Now, there's really nothing you can really say about it. A 40-point loss is never a great sign for a program. How do they go into the next 2 games against Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech, looking as an opportunity to really get their season back on track before Greensboro?
Well, it's really tough heading on the road against a nationally ranked Virginia Tech team and trying to get a victory when you only have 3 ACC victories coming into that game. Wake Forest continues their road trip on March 2nd against Pittsburgh, and at Pitt is always a tough place to play, but for Wake Forest, you have to see that as a winnable game, and ending your season in Winston-Salem against Georgia Tech before heading to Greensboro for the ACC tournament. You have to learn from this, taking on one of the better teams in the ACC, bounce back and say, let's make a run at this in the ACC tournament. We know what we have to get better on, taking on Mike Young's squad. And for Wake Forest, yes, this is a big step back, but it's a learning opportunity. And for first-year head coach Steve Forbes, it's not looking great for them this season for chances in the ACC and NCAA tournament. However, there is still a very small possibility with that automatic qualifier with the ACC championship if they continue to have upset after upset. But for Steve Forbes, it's mainly building a program in Winston-Salem. You're not going to expect immediate success out of a first-year head coach.
Exactly. It's been about 4 years since they've been a part of the NCAA tournament, which is their 23rd appearance. You know what that year was? It happened on March 4th. That's the last time that Wake Forest defeated the Virginia Tech Hokies, and also the last year they made the NCAA tournament. So it's been a while for Wake Forest, but you're right. It's a good conference. It has the opportunity to really grow. They've had some great players come out of their system over the last few years, and they will probably get back on track within the near future. I mean, Steve Forbes, you mentioned it, successful head coach. 30-4 record last year with ETSU, a 16-2 conference record, and now an opportunity at a Power 5 school to really get it going, and it hasn't been the great start that he wanted probably, but right now, Wake Forest is going to try to finish off this game with at least a bright side, as they're going to start with possession as we've going to resume action here at Cassell Coliseum. 2:16 remaining. Virginia Tech up by 40 on Wake Forest, 82-42. Williamson is the one who brings the ball across for the Hokies. As a foul directed there from Beatty, it was an intentional foul, as we're going to get our moment now here on Senior Day. Always a special moment, as will BC Beatty and Cordell Pemsel exit the courts for what is their quote-unquote final time here in Cassell Coliseum. This is the Senior Day when the schedule was released back in the fall. Of course, they're going to get the home game against Louisville on Wednesday, but a special moment for Wabisa Beatty and Cordell Pemsel as a standing ovation of 250 strong in Cassell Coliseum. Back to the game now, 2 minutes to go, as Jonah Antonio going to fire the three-pointer as it's short and rebounded by Hunter Couture. Couture going to take his time as he crosses half court now for the Hokies. Look to put the finishing touches on this game. Couture tries to blast that pass to Bamsel, but it was deflected away from Jonah Antonio. It will be off of the Demon Deacon, and it will stay Virginia Tech ball with 19 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Bamsel gives it over to Couture off the inbound. As Bamsel thinking three from deep, that one is short as it goes out of bounds. We've seen the Hokies kind of go a little short there from that near wing, Tyler, as it will be Wake Forest ball again with just over 100 seconds remaining in this one.
This is a good opportunity for Virginia Tech to get a lot of their reserves some playing time against an ACC opponent.
Antonio gives it to Adams, who gives it to Masood. Masood firing from deep, and he connects that one. Masood buries that one from deep. It's now 82-45. Virginia Tech over Wake Forest. Couture crosses half court now for the Hokies, who is working it on now and gives up to Bamsel, who gives it off to Gasson. Gasson looking for a cutting teammate as he kicks it back out to Bamsel. 10 seconds on the shot clock as Bamsel driving inside. Does a spin move on top of the elbow, can't get it to fall off the back iron, and we have a minute remaining in this one. Antonio with possession now for Wake Forest as he gives over to Adams on that far corner. Adams working inside on the blow block, fires it up. The foul is called. Bamsel was the one who initiated the contact, and here with 52.2 seconds remaining, Adams will have a chance at the line for 2 free throws. 1 of 4 on the day for Adams, as he has yet to shoot any free throws on the day. His first free throw attempt is no good as it rattles in and out. And Tyler, this is a team in Wake Forest, 5th best in the ACC for free throw percentage with 74.7. But today, a 5 for 11 performance, not a really great line tonight for the Demon Deacons. The second free throw from Adams is good. So he has 3 points now on the day as Couture collects the inbound pass for the Hokies. Couture crosses half court now for Virginia Tech as Williamson playing defense on the Virginia Tech logo. Kicks it over to Lean on the wing, who finds now to Gasson. Gasson looking to drive inside, goes in a spin move and lays it in well. Gasson uses his power and his ability to make it 84-46 now. Hokies on top of the Demon Deacons. Masood going to fire from the corner. That one's no good as it's off the back iron and rebounded by Naheem Elid. And Mike Young is pointing to the corner where Hunter Couture will look to dribble this one out, as this will be our final score from Cassell Coliseum. It's 84-46. Virginia Tech after a 69-53 loss to Georgia Tech, bounces back with a dominating victory over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons to pick up their 9th ACC win of the year and their 10th home victory of the season, and what is a dominating win for Mike Young and company, a statement performance to say that Georgia Tech loss was a fluke. And Tyler, let's just get our post-game reactions going right now. Virginia Tech really taking care of business from beginning to end. Wake Forest did not lead at all in this game. Virginia Tech 39-22 that they led. It was from beginning to end just a great day for the Hokies.
They had a hot start and didn't look back, and they finished today's game with over 53% from the field, going 31 for 58. For Wake Forest, a mark that I think they were starting to get desperate towards the end and putting up a lot of bad shots. That ends up hurting their overall field goal percentage. They went 15 for 54. That's good for a 27.8% shooting percentage from the field for Wake Forest. But if you are the Demon Deacons, you now have a 3-13 mark in the ACC. You have to look ahead to your final 2 games, and most importantly, look ahead to Greensboro in about 10 days' time.
Yeah, let's look ahead of the upcoming schedules for both teams. Virginia Tech, today was your senior day, but they got a home game on Wednesday against the Louisville Cardinals, and then next Saturday they travel down to Raleigh, North Carolina. They go on the NC State Wolfpack. They're ahead of both teams in the conference, but Tyler, today's win, it's against an opponent that they should have won against, but it's a great feeling to know for Virginia Tech that they get a victory to help their chances of a double bye in 2 weeks' time ACC tournament.
Right now, if the standings hold, we're looking at an ACC tournament that has Virginia Tech with a double bye and Wake Forest taking on Pittsburgh in the first round. The interesting thing about that, the next game for the Demon Deacons is against Pittsburgh, so a potential preview of what we could see in Greensboro for the Deacons.
It'll be a great tournament down there in Greensboro, but these wins just keep on going for the Hokies. They look like they're going to be dancing on Selection Sunday, which is about 2 weeks from now, actually 2 or 3 weeks. So that'll be great for Virginia Tech. But, of course, not satisfied. Mike Young. He definitely has some things that he feels as if he has to get going for them. What do you think Virginia Tech needs to improve on within the next 2 weeks?
Well, for Virginia Tech, it might not have looked it in this game, but they've been getting into a lot of foul trouble. In that first half, we saw Virginia Tech have about 4 fouls with 3 minutes to go. And before the end of the half, Wake Forest was shooting 1-and-1 free throws. You need to have a little bit more discipline. And we saw a lot of moments in this game specifically where you have players fighting for an unnecessary ball, and it just causes a lot of drama that's unnecessary for Virginia Tech. And overall, that could end up hurting them in the long run, especially in close games. Now, for Virginia Tech, be thankful that this was a 40-point blowout of Wake Forest, but in a tight game, you cannot let that immaturity and let discipline get in the way.
It's only going to get tougher here for the Virginia Tech Hokies, and for Wake Forest, if they're going to want to do something with their season, they're going to have to turn around immediately. They got 1 more week before Greensboro, like we mentioned. Some results, they got 1 away at Pittsburgh on Tuesday, but then they finish up the season home against Georgia Tech on Friday night. What do they do to really close off the season and really give Steve Forbes and his team something to look forward to in the ACC tournament?
Take this game as a practice. You're taking on one of the best teams in the ACC. You can learn from this game. Watch film, not only from the last Pitt game, but watch film from this game. As much as it hurts, it's the most painful losses that you end up learning from the most. And so to come into Blacksburg and to lose by 38, take a look at what Virginia Tech did well other than being hot from the field. Take a look at what they did technically against you and work on that in practice nonstop until your March 2nd game against Pitt.
The offensive struggles continue for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, but Virginia Tech back in the win column, 84-46 over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. That's going to do it here from 3304 Sports. Thank you for tuning in for our coverage of ACC men's basketball. I'm Andy Loce. I've been joined alongside with Tyler Katz. Thank you for listening, everybody, and have a wonderful day.